Good morning and Happy New Year. I'm wet already, but this is from the shower. Dressed for the occasion, and today's gonna be all about splashing. Last night as I was driving back home from the beach, people already were standing on the side of the roads with buckets of water. And I saw that and I could hardly lift the car windows up. It's like, quickly. And there's a splash, big splash, a whole bucket on the windscreen. And you lose all the visibility for a few seconds because it's a lot of water. Really, I don't like this. It's really violent. I'm driving there on the road, relaxing, listening to the radio with the wind. And suddenly somebody splashes a bucket of water. A foreigner. Hey, come on. And motorbikes are all wet. And what if you have a bag which gets wet, or your clothes, or your hair? It's just so, I don't know. So today, of course, the morning messages say, Lina, come to Chaweng. We're going to start at 10. Start at 10, start splashing around and shooting with the water gun. Make everybody wet. And I don't want to be part of it, driving around, making everybody wet. Am I boring? Maybe I'm too old for it. Okay. Also, it is a day for the elderly people today. And tomorrow is the day of the family. So today we're supposed to be nice to our grandparents and other people's grandparents. I'm gonna call grandma. And be nice to her. Like I am every Sunday anyway. Okay. It is Sunday, right? Yeah, it is Sunday. What I was thinking about this morning was patterns. Okay, now switch to the serious mood. We're gonna be serious. We're gonna be serious, talking about patterns. Okay, ready? Yes, you're in the right sort of vibe and feel. Yeah, good. In nature, there are always patterns. Whatever you look at, there is repetition. If you look at a wing of a dragonfly or an eye of a fly or the pattern on Bo's back or this is also sort of a natural kind of pattern-ish. That's a zebra. Anyway, you see that everything is based on patterns and repetitions, and when you analyze our behavior, it is exactly the same. We love patterns, we love our little cycles, we love to go to the same place. We think that, in fact, that is the best restaurant because I've been there many times and I like this whole procedure of doing the same thing over and over again, going to church every Sunday, going to meet my friends every Wednesday, movie night on Sundays, whatever else our routine is, morning routine, I shave, I start from the right to the left, whatever you do, you love repetition. We get tired of randomness because you need to think and come up with new ways if you do things randomly. But with repetition it's easier, right? Because you just repeat the same pattern almost on automatic or like on autopilot. If you think about brushing your teeth, do you start on this side or that side? Have you never thought about it? Well, notice it next time and see if that is something that you do every day in exactly the same way. And it probably is. We like to go to bed at about the same time. We like to read a certain number of pages from the book. We love patterns, we love cycles. Now, okay, you're probably curious what is going to happen in your life in the future. Maybe you don't want to know because you're scared of it, or you think, well, it's better to leave it a surprise. Okay, but to a certain point we have to make sure that the future is bright and happy. And then the details are up to the chance and surprise. But if you look at your past, it doesn't have to be 10 years ago. It doesn't have to be when you were born, but past yesterday and the day before and 2 weeks ago and 3 months ago. It's pretty much the same to what is going on now in your life. Why? Because we stick to patterns. And we are the animals that walk in circles, more or less. Like cows do. It calms us down, it makes us happy. We like to repeat And that's a fact. And if you analyze your own behavior, you are hardly ever spontaneous, and your behavior is very much based on repeating the same thing, the thing which is familiar to you, that you're used to, and that you already know. There are good things that we do, and there are also bad things that we do. So, are they up to us? Yes, they are totally up to us. You see what I'm leading up to? Analyzing, again, more thinking and more analyzing about, thinking about your own life and your own patterns. And it doesn't have to be these huge major patterns that are really hard to find and see and will take time and a lot of writing, a lot of sketching and so on. It can be very simple. But only you can notice these patterns. Relationships always repeat. Why? Okay. When we were taught to take a cup and drink a glass of water when we were kids, we saw our mommy and daddy do it. Put the finger inside the ear of the cup, pick it up, bring it to our head, tilt it, and drink. And this is exactly how we did it all our life. When we needed to call a person, it's like, come here. This is probably a more Western way. Now, some nations do this and some nations do that. Why? Because that is what they're used to. Are their hands different? No. This is just their pattern. And you have the same pattern. You're not going to do this once and this is the next time. You're going to do this all the time. Now, I'm used to counting from the little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in Korea was saying to me that, Lena, this is so weird. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to me, it feels so foreign and unusual. Why? Because I'm used to this counting system. Starting from this finger. How do you do it? 1, 2, 3, this 4, 5. It just doesn't fall that way. Same as with this. Left on top. What about you? No, it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. It is a habit. It is not in our body. It is in our mind and in the way that we are used to do things. Physical and mental. So, our first relationship pretty much sets the rhythm for our whole life. Subconsciously. Because this is how we did it the first time. And people around you, if you have older siblings or old friends who got their boyfriend first or girlfriend first, you've observed their type of relationship and listened to all their complaints about what problems they had. You are likely to follow their pattern too, because we are like monkeys. We learn from other people and imitate our parents' behavior. Yes, this is what my daddy did to my mommy, so I'm going to do exactly the same. And that makes us happy. Daddy opened the door for mommy. I remember that. I remember seeing that when I was very little. So I expect the guy to do that for me. And if he doesn't do it, it is strange. And it is not how it's supposed to be because I'm used to a certain thing. You see how patterns come into our life. So by the age 30 or 40, you have nothing new in your life because you're so absorbed in your own patterns, in your relationship patterns, in your first, I'm doing this again, in your relationship patterns, in your meeting people patterns, in your working pattern, in your living pattern, what you do in the morning, what you do in the evening, in your favorite food pattern, in the places to go, in your what you do on the weekends, and so on. There is hardly anything new. What a boring life. So what is it going to be 10 years down the track? Most likely something very similar to what you are experiencing now. If you're happy with it, great. When I think about my life, Is this where I want to be 10 years later? Yes, exactly. This is nice. Yes, I would like some extras and some changes, but this feeling every morning, energized, happy, waking up with a smile and new ideas, and thinking about how beautiful it is outside and how lucky I am to listen to these birds and eat the fruits and everything else. Simple things that, no, there isn't anything that stresses me out. There isn't anything that scares me. The life is what I want it to be. And some things and people can come and they can go. And we are not going to be with somebody from birth to death. There's always people coming into our lives and out of our lives. That is the fact of life. You can't... I was going to say you can't own anybody. I was like, yes you can. Okay, Lena, you can't own anybody. That's true. Unless it's a mutual agreement and you say, I want to own you. Do you want to be owned by me? And you say, yes, Lena, I want to be owned by you. Okay. Are you owned by me? I take you to be your owner. Phone. And you are going to be my property, my human property. Do you agree to this? Yes, I agree to this. In that case, you can own somebody, but it can end any moment. When that somebody is not in the mood to be owned, and we want to get all cocky and manly and say like, hey, we're equal, we're all human beings, let's argue. Anyway, let's say no to her and see what she has to say. Let's challenge her ideas. Let's say that she's wrong, see what happens. Okay, where were we? I lose track. You see, if you were here in front of me, it would flow more naturally because we would have some sort of 90-10 or 80-20 conversation. And it's usually the case. 80% Lena is blah blah blah, and in a very instructive way too. And 20% it's you saying, yes, yes Lena, right, okay, that is interesting. I mean, it's good. That's good. Now, patterns. Now, we have decided with your agreement that I own you. And we have also decided that life consists of patterns that you choose when you were young. Most of the time. Patterns that you have seen other people do, and your parents, your close friends, yourself, your partner, your ex-partner. You follow it. Some of them are not good. Can you stop them? Yes. What does it take to stop them? One, you have to know what it is. And that's the most difficult part. And you have to know what leads up to it. Okay. So let's talk about relationships. Very often you can see patterns in relationships because we feel safe doing what we know how to do. When we are intimidated by something, we do not feel brave and confident. In a relationship, nobody wants to look stupid. Nobody wants to say, I don't know what to do. You want to be naturally a leader. Not everybody. Or a follower. In that case, it's a lot easier. But usually guys tend to lead, right? Even with a follower, emails I get from you, I have this experience and that experience in this. I know how to do this and I've done this before. Like, no, I don't want a second-hand toy. I want a new toy, brand new from the market, shining without any scratches on it. I don't know. I don't want to know that somebody played with my toy. I don't want to know that somebody scratched my toy and did whatever they did to the toy and it might be true, but don't tell me about it. Don't tell the woman of any scars. Don't tell the woman of what has happened, no matter how much she asks you. What were your previous relationships like? It gives her hints to give you exactly what you had before. So that's the secret of a good relationship. Never tell your past. Yes, you can be open with the person, but say, this information will be used against you. If you tell the person of your previous relationship, make sure you tell them the bits that you want to keep in your new relationship. So you wouldn't say that your ex-girlfriend really mistreated you, unless you want to be mistreated. Your ex-girlfriend cheated on you all the time, unless you want her to cheat on you. Your ex-girlfriend kissed you every morning on the forehead and then on your lips and then said, I love you, darling, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay, you can tell her that if you want that to happen every morning, or a similar thing. Because what we do when we interact with other people, instantly we try to identify their patterns. We try to feel what they are like, get to know them, ask them questions. What do they like? What do they dislike? When you hear that somebody dislikes something, you say, aha! So if you piss me off, I know exactly what to do to you. And we've done this, probably subconsciously, many times in our lives. When somebody told us, well, I really hate it when women don't answer their phone after a fight. And that's what my ex-girlfriend used to do. It's like, aha! Yeah, that's terrible, right? That's so unfair. Why just she can't have a normal conversation and solve the problem? And then next time you have a fight with this girl, she will do exactly what you hate her to do. She will not answer the phone because she knows that you don't like it and that is your weak spot. And so on. And then you think, why did she do it? This is exactly what the previous two used to do too. Why does it always happen to me? Why does it always happen to you? Because it's your pattern and you choose to accept it in your life because you're used to it. That is something you feel comfortable with because you know it. And feeling comfortable with something is not necessarily because you like it, but because you know it. Why do we feel uncomfortable falling backwards and feel okay falling forwards? Not that you would want to fall, but if you're standing there on a soft surface, like a bed, and somebody would ask you, fall, you would probably fall sideways, put your hand down first, and bend your knees, and fall softly on your ass. You wouldn't fall on your back like that. Why? Because you have never done it before, because that is what you feel comfortable with, because you know it. That situation has happened to you many times, and the same in life, the same in... I'm going to demonstrate a falling. Okay, and fall. This is what happens. Why? Because this is how you fell many times when you slip. You put your hands down first. You put your knees down. That's why we often get scars on the knees and so on, right? And falling is not a great sensation. Being cheated on is not a great sensation, but you know how to deal with it if that has happened to you before in your life. So you do attract it. You attract it with your own, not with the law of attraction. I know you don't like it and you don't want me to talk about these abstract issues, but with your behavior and with things that you say. There's another version of law of attraction. A lot of the things we do subconsciously and we don't analyze what we say most of the time, although some people do think about what they say, and I know a couple of people, but most of us, we say things and we only think sometimes when we think, oh, okay, well, this is a job interview, so I better think carefully about what I'm going to say right now. But most of the time we just talk, and there's this whole bleh, and no, not a vomit, but words, and words are like water. Once you spill them, you can't put them into the glass again, right? And words make us more vulnerable because they reveal our true nature to the other person. Our patterns, what we want, what we don't want, what we're afraid of, what we like, and so on. And what we are used to, and what right it gives the other person, how they could act with us. Okay, is this about enough? Is it, or is it not? 21 minutes, yes, it is enough. Mango time, still mangoes left, and then chaweng for New Year's. Woohoo, girl! I really don't feel like going to chaweng. Chaweng is the most populated, not really populated, the most crowded area of the island. This is where the shopping center is and most of the tourists. Young tourists who like clubs and nightlife. So, and my nightlife finishes at 9 p.m. so I'm not really a party person. Maybe that's why I'm not attracted to it. But when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I used to love places like that. So there's the right place for every age. Just some people never grow out of it. Okay. Have a wonderful Thai New Year day today. And we'll see you tomorrow.